probably heard of the phrase, eat the frog, and thought, that sounds like a terrible idea. Well, it just so happens that this weird practice is one of the best and most effective productivity methods out there. So today I'll show you how eating the frog can actually help you stop procrastinating, get laser focused, and finally tackle the important stuff. So what is eating the frog? Well, it's tackling the most important and the most procrastinated on item that you have first thing in the day. The idea comes from Brian Tracy, who borrowed it from Mark Twain, and it stuck around for good reason. This isn't about doing more, it's about actually doing what matters. Think of it like this. If you eat the frog at 8 a.m., then the rest of your day feels like dessert. But there's probably a reason why you've been procrastinating on these tasks, so why do we have such trouble eating the frog? Where does that come from? Well, frogs tend to be emotionally loaded. A frog might be the project you've been putting off, the email you've been resisting sending, the goal that really matters but scares you. And thanks to something called the mere urgency effect, your brain keeps tricking you into doing the easier, less important stuff, so you just feel like you're staying busy and productive. But the more you delay the frog, the bigger and grosser it gets. So that's where this trick comes in to help. So let's talk about why it even works. See, your willpower fades over time. Roy Baumeister's famous studies show that your willpower is like a battery. The more choices you make, the more it drains. So if you eat that frog first thing in the day before you're deciding on email and making all these other decisions, you have more energy to be able to devote to the task. Plus, cognitive energy is actually shown to be highest earlier in the day. Research in ultradian rhythms shows that our brains are wired to work in about 90-minute chunks, and especially earlier in the morning. So the morning naturally equals frog feast time. And then there's the Zeigarnik effect. I know, it's an interesting name, but it basically says that unfinished tasks linger in our brains and steal our attention. So starting earlier in the day actually frees up parts of your brain that you can devote to other tasks later on throughout the day. It actually frees up bandwidth and space in your brain to be able to do more. Also, momentum matters. Harvard research shows that even small progress on big goals helps to increase your motivation. Crushing your frog gives you dopamine, which then increases your confidence and your identity that you're the kind of person who gets stuff done. And the final reason why it matters to eat the frog first is it gives you clarity. Even just choosing what your frog is forces you to clarify what really matters. And that's strategic focus, not just productivity. So how do you eat the frog? How do you actually make this happen? Let's talk through some specific steps to get you there. First of all, pick your frog the night before. If you wait until morning, decision fatigue is going to tell your brain to pick the email instead. So write it on a sticky note and put it someplace you will see it first thing. And then schedule it like a meeting. Time block 60 to 90 minutes in your calendar to just focus on this thing. Label it frog time, if you like, and protect it like it's sacred. And if you want a little bonus to make this even easier, why don't you schedule a flown session? You can get the accountability and the structure that you need to actually tackle this task. And you can try it free for 30 days. So go to the link in our description, come on over, try out a flock, and see if it works for you. Another thing that you can try is using if-then style planning. Things like, if it's 9 a.m. and I've had my coffee, I will start the report. And it's shown that people who use these implementation intentions are 2 to 3 times more likely to actually follow through. Next up is a big one that's actually about getting small. Break that frog into the smallest bites possible. So instead of the task being write the proposal, which feels huge and overwhelming, just have a task be jot down 3 bullet points. The goal isn't actually to eat the entire frog in one sitting, it's just to start chewing. So break that frog into smaller bites that you can start ticking off and getting those dopamine hits as you get more and more done. Next up, eliminate friction. Make this as easy as possible. So have your desk be clean. Shut off your notifications. Make your space feel nice to be in. Maybe light a candle, have some music, grab a sweater if that makes you feel more comfortable and cozy to be doing your work. Do whatever it takes and create whatever kind of environment you need to actually want to start. And then reward yourself along the way. This is hard on your brain and it needs to know that it's worth it. So giving yourself small little rewards actually makes the habit loop stronger. And finally, think of this as a habit you're building. Start with 1 frog a day. Do it at the exact same time. And eventually that trains your brain to associate mornings with momentum. Eating the frog isn't about being extreme or punishing yourself. It's about starting your day with intention, choosing the one thing that matters the most and actually doing it. So tomorrow morning, don't scroll, don't drift, look that frog in the eye and take a bite. And we would love to come alongside you with your frog eating. So make sure you pop into the comments below and let us know what frogs you are trying to get done this week. And we would love if you came over to flown.com and you joined us on your journey. We've got all sorts of tools and virtual co-working sessions to support you along the way. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you again very soon.